What is going on, Summoners? We're back here today with another Champion Deep Dive. Today, we're talking about Bullseye. So, sit back and relax, cause it's time to get into it. Bullseye enters the contest and doesn't miss. Literally. All of his hits bypass miss and are guaranteed crits. Because of this, Bullseye is immune to precision and fatigue effects. Instead, he gains a non-stacking cruelty buff for 8 seconds when this immunity triggers. Now, Bullseye's blade attacks inflict instant bleeds, dealing direct damage. These are also inflicted when any attack would be avoided with a dexterity mastery or an evade. His instant bleeds and guaranteed crits can be inflicted through block, unless they're well timed. And when the opponent would be inflicted with the bleed effect, he gains a cruelty passive for 8 seconds. These max out at 10 stacks, are paused during special attacks, and for 3 seconds each time the opponent avoids a basic attack with the dexterity mastery. Also, for each stack, he gains increased physical resistance. Now, when Bullseye gains a bar of power, it grants him a non-stacking Killer Instinct passive for 3 seconds. And while this is active, he has a 100% chance to evade incoming basic attacks, purifying any stun debuffs in the process. When evading, Bullseye counterattacks and inflicts an instant bleed. This evade will not trigger while blocking and is unaffected by ability accuracy reduction. Additionally, this is paused while over 1 bar of power until he evades. Also, it's paused during his special attacks. As an attacker, when this expires, it goes on cooldown for 12 seconds, or until the opponent is struck 10 times. And after counterattacking, the ability to activate his special 3 is disabled for 1 second. But be careful, because as a defender, the chance to activate a special attack is increased for 1 second instead. Now, let's check out his special attacks. On activation of his special 1, he gains a true accuracy passive for 15 seconds. Also, the final hit inflicts 2 additional instant bleeds. With the special 2, on activation, he gains a 25% potency impact passive and inflicts a 50% bleed vulnerability passive. Both of these effects are non-stacking and last for 30 seconds. Also, the final hit inflicts a stun passive for 1.5 seconds. Now, activating a special 1 or 2 immediately after a counterattack makes the first hit passively unblockable and grants a Fury passive for 6 seconds. This is paused during his special attacks and can also be activated by intercepting the opponent with any special attack hit. Also, special attack hits landed against an invisible, phasing, or untouchable opponent grant no power. Additionally, during either special attack, pressing the block input after the first hit slows down time, and releasing it precisely when the final projectile is thrown grants a perfect release bonus. Doing so grants an indefinite dialed-in passive, increasing the potency of his personal cruelty passives and refreshing all active stacks. Now, if you don't want to slow down time, you can hold the power button and release it at the precise moment to gain dialed in this way. These max out at 5 stacks, and failing to activate a perfect release removes 1 dialed in passive. While defending, Bullseye has a 10% chance for each cruelty passive to activate a perfect release after his special 1 and 2. Also, a perfect result during the special 3 minigame grants a perfect release bonus. Speaking of, the special 3. At the end of this attack, he inflicts a non-stacking 50% potency passive disorient for 45 seconds. And while this is active, all of his personal cruelty passives are paused. Now, let's check out his signature ability. When awakened, activating a special attack passively reduces damage caused by the opponent by up to 99% immediately after a special. Additionally, when either champion is stunned or struck by a heavy attack, Bullseye has up to a 50% chance to purify 50% of all debuffs, up to a max of 10. But the stun from the parry mastery will not trigger this purify. Now, let's take him out for a spin in the champion rotation. To begin, strike the opponent with your blades to start building your cruelty. This happens through block, so don't be afraid to bully them if they get defensive. Once you cross a bar of power, you'll gain your Killer Instinct passive. You could use this as an easy opening to evade on your way up to Special 3. And once you build enough power, bait a special attack, and then trigger your evade to disable your Special 3 and immediately launch your Special 2. And if you want, tap and hold block to slow down time and release at the right moment to start building your dialed-in passives. From here, rush in while the opponent is stunned and launch your Special 1 to take advantage of your Fury and Bleed vulnerability. And if the opponent isn't already knocked out, just repeat until they are. Now, on top of all the guaranteed crits, remember, Bullseye can't miss. And sometimes you'll want that Fury passive earlier than your Special 2. So, especially if the opponent is immune to bleed, you could evade just under 2 bars and launch your Special 1 to access those big yellow numbers that much faster. And hey, if your Bullseye is awakened, he gains up to a 50% chance to purify half of his debuffs on his heavy attack hits, making him a great candidate to run with the recoil masteries, juicing up those guaranteed crits even further. Thank you for watching this champion deep dive for Bullseye. And hey, if you liked the video and want to see more, click subscribe, like, comment, and share. And remember, we'll see you in the battle realm.